Hey, so the other day I got into a long discussion with someone in my Twitch chat about the potential for Call of Duty Online to go global. And being someone who's been keeping track of this stuff for the last few years as part of my job, I thought I could provide a good, informative perspective on it. So in case you didn't know, COD Online is a Chinese exclusive Call of Duty game developed by Raven Software that is free to play and is basically a greatest hits COD game. All the perks, guns, weapons, and streaks are from the COD 4 to Black Ops 2 era, and people have been begging Activision to make it go global for the last 4 years at least, all to no avail. So I wanted to dive into everything I know about the game and everything I know about Activision and the way the brand is handled to give some insight as to why I think COD Online hasn't gone global and what I think needs to happen before that can happen. Again, this audio is ripped from my stream, so I apologize if it sounds a little lower quality than usual, but I'll leave you guys with this. Hope you learned something, and yeah, take care. Yeah, that's the most frustrating part, man. Once people over here started finding out about COD Online, they amped up the security to make it so we couldn't play. It's like, not only are you not making it global, but you're actively keeping other people off the game. Which I get it, you know. I get it. It's a balancing thing for connection. But first of all, you're not doing that the other way around. You're not keeping players from over there from joining servers over here. And second of all, like, the fact that so many people are trying to join servers over there should say, like, look, people want this. American audiences are going to buy Call of Duty for $60 every year, no matter how shit it is, so why would they make a good free-to-play one over here? There's no reason for them to do that. There's no reason for them to put out a free-to-play Call of Duty game that's, like, the best of the Golden Age CODs, when instead they could just keep making shitty full-price $60 COD games and marketing this one as a return to form. COD World War II is a return to the Golden Age. Modern Warfare is a return to the Golden Age. Black Ops 4 is the best of the Black Ops series. None of those things were true, but people just keep buying it. So why would they make a free-to-play game? Why would they make a free-to-play game out of something that they could literally charge for every single year and people keep buying it? Well, they made COD Mobile because that's a different market. They made COD Mobile because that's on mobile. It's not on PC. Completely different kind of game. I know the point you're making, but it's a different kind of game. I mean, people eat up Madden, people eat up FIFA, people eat up COD. There's no reason for them to make a free-to-play game. Remember when they made Battlefield free-to-play? And they shut the servers down in like 2 years? Because they just stuffed it full of microtransactions? Like, that's exactly what happens. You make a free-to-play game based on a franchise people like, and you stuff it full of microtransactions, people aren't going to do anything. Like, they're not going to support it. If you make a free-to-play game full of microtransactions, people are just not going to play the game, you're not going to make any revenue from it. If you make a $60 game and don't put any microtransactions in it, and then put microtransactions in after you get the good press, that's maximum profit. If you make, like, the thing is, especially with Activision, the thing with them is they're all about maximum profit. They're all about microtransactions. They're not going to do something if they can't make a buttload of money from it. And they do this every single year. They're free-to-play games. Their only money from free-to-play games is microtransactions. So you have to stuff it with microtransactions from day one. And people are pretty sensitive to microtransactions nowadays. So if you're gonna, you release a free-to-play game that's full of microtransactions, or you release a full-priced game with no microtransactions, and then when the main sales dwindle, that's when you shove them in. The landscape in China for gaming is different. Like, what's popular in China versus what's popular in the US and the EU is really different. The most popular, and that also has to do with the fact that China is much more PC-centric. Like, console gaming is very less of a presence in China than it is in the US and in the EU. I guess I should say in Europe, because the EU is in a weird place. Just with the way that China's gaming economy is, a free-to-play game with a free-to-play game stuffed with microtransactions, you can get away with it easier over there. Much more so than you can over here, where loot boxes and microtransactions, it's taboo from the start. And that's why Activision does what they've done. They've done it 3 years in a row now with Call of Duty. EA does it every single year with Madden and with FIFA. They release a $60 game. Look, there's no microtransactions. It's great. And then 2 months later, they throw them in. Maximum profit, maximum press. They do it every single year, and people eat it up. It's just differences in the market. And I know I'm getting kind of preachy there, just because, like, it's part of my job to know all this stuff. It's part of my job to research all this stuff and keep on top of it. It is frustrating that COD Online is probably never going to come over here, because what they can profit... And the thing is with that, though, with COD Online, It's not even that COD Online wouldn't be profitable or wouldn't be successful over here. It's that they can make so much more money not releasing it. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Activision can make way more money by not putting the game out over here. Because if they put COD Online out here, why would I buy another Call of Duty game on PC? They've revitalized the PC Call of Duty community with Black Ops 4 and with Modern Warfare. Why would they release COD Online now? You spent all this time revitalizing COD on PC, and now you're just going to stop releasing games? Or are you going to stop incentivizing buying new games? Now, I don't know how long it's going to last, because the PC community tends to be a lot more resistant to AAA hype culture than console gaming. I think that's safe to say. You know, big AAA games definitely aren't as much of an automatic success on PC as they are on console. As much as I want COD Online to come over here, it's in Activision's best interest to not release it over here, because Activision makes a fuckload of money releasing $60 COD games every year, releasing a bunch of microtransactions and season passes. They're not doing season passes anymore, but releasing COD Online in its current state would completely fuck that whole model. Now, what they could do is they could repackage COD Online, work out some kind of reskin to it to make the theming consistent, and they could release it as a full Call of Duty game for $60. That's basically what they did with Black Ops 4. You know, Black Ops 4 had zombies, multiplayer, and BR. That's what COD Online has. If they were to literally just take COD... And also, the thing is with COD Online, the reason why a lot of the Western players really want it is because it's made off of assets from games that were not very big in China. Like, people also need to realize that the Golden Age COD games, they weren't big in China. They were big here, and they were big in Europe, and they were big in a lot of places, but they weren't big in China. That's why that's why COD Online was so big over there, and why it was a big deal over there was because that was a lot of people's introduction to Call of Duty. COD Online was, for lack of a better term, COD Online was China's introduction to Call of Duty. Whereas for us, we're looking at it and we're like, what the hell? You guys got this great thing, because there's all this nostalgia value. And that's another reason why it's not going to go to... why COD Online is not going to come over here. Because Activision can milk the nostalgia of the US with Call of Duty far more than they can milk the nostalgia of China with Call of Duty, because China doesn't have that history with Call of Duty. China didn't have that big, you know, COD 4 to Black Ops 2 hype train. That wasn't really over there. It was over here, and that's why we want COD Online over here. But Activision would rather milk our love for those games in different ways. And from a business standpoint, it makes total sense. Now, like I was saying, what they could do, what they absolutely could do, and I think would actually be a good call, literally take all of COD Online, reskin it so that it's all consistent with theming, or more consistent with theming, more consistent with the established games that were popular over here. Release that as a game, as a $60 COD game. They could absolutely do that. They did it with Black Ops 4. They could absolutely do it here. Just think about if they took COD Online, reskinned everything to so that way it all looked consistent with one theming, and they release it as Call of Duty. I don't know what to call it. Like Call of Duty Legacy. I don't know. Call of Duty Legends. I think they already used that for a mobile game. But then they put it on console and PC with the full crossplay with everything, release it for $60. That's one way they could do it. The thing is, COD Online is not going to be global unless they can find a way to monetize it in a way that they can't really do in China. Because, like I said, the market is just different over there compared to here, especially with the COD brand. If they're going to release COD Online over here, it has to be in a way that makes a fuckload of money. It's not going to be free to play. It's not going to be PC exclusive. It's probably never coming over here. Unless Call of Duty takes a very, very dramatic nosedive to the point that they have to do something. And we're like, fuck, guys, we need to bring Call of Duty back. Then they can make it global for $30. I mean, like, that's just not going to happen. You know, people have been saying Madden needs to die for however many years. People have been saying FIFA's dying for however many years. It's not fucking dying. It's never going to die. Madden and FIFA are never going to die because people just keep eating that shit up. I don't know where these people are. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I don't know where these people are that are buying Madden and FIFA every single year. I couldn't tell you. But they're there. It just sucks, man. Because I want to play this too. The China market and the worldwide market for Call of Duty are extremely different. And it's just not gonna come over here in its current form, especially not. With its current business model, especially not. It's just not gonna happen. See, the demand is so high. The demand is so high for Call of Duty Online. But the thing is, we're not talking about a normal publisher or a normal dev team. We're talking about Activision. Activision, you literally cannot get them to give a shit unless you're throwing money down their throat. Which is why I think it's so hilarious that they put the Tony Hawk games on the Epic Game Store. How much fucking money do you think Epic threw at them for that? So, I have some level of faith that COD Online will come over here eventually. But like I said, it's not going to be in its current form. Or maybe it will be in its current form, but maybe it's not going to be with the current business model for sure. It's going to have to be monetized heavier because they can get away with monetizing it heavier over here. Anyway, I'm going to turn in for the night. Thank you guys for hanging out and listening to me rant about stuff that I know about. Not many people care about, but it's part of my job to know about, and I get excited whenever I get to talk about it because I feel like I have all this stuff in my brain that nobody else knows about. Alright. Night, guys.